fashion sense, it's not as common as you think. These risky red carpet looks got these celebs cancelled. First up, we have the queen of controversy herself, Lady Gaga. Remember that infamous meat dress she wore to the 2010 VMAs? Yeah, that was a bold choice, and one I wish my eyes had the pleasure of not seeing. While some people loved it, others were totally grossed out. I mean, who wears a dress made of raw meat? But you know what? It actually worked for her in a very weird, raw way. The outfit itself was interesting, to put it lightly. A corset was actually sewn into the meat, and the dress was preserved and turned into jerky by a taxidermist. Slashed to the thigh and featuring a cowl neck, the dress came with matching beefy boots, a hat, and even a meat clutch. It was one of the 3 outfits Gaga wore that night. She'd already walked the red carpet wearing a custom-made Alexander McQueen gown with a Renaissance-inspired print. Now 12-inch armadillo shoes and a gold feather headpiece to match. She collected her Best Pop Video award wearing a very puffy black leather Armani dress. However, her meat dress was not only the most memorable outfit of that evening, but arguably of her entire career. Gaga said the dress symbolized her disapproval of the military's don't ask, don't tell policy. She also said, if we were willing to fight for your country, what does it matter how you identify? The idea was originally sparked by a conversation Gaga had with makeup artist Val Garland, who had actually worn her own version of a meat dress back in the 1980s. The dress, of course, was condemned by animal rights groups, and PETA actually called the dress super offensive and unattractive. No lies told, TBH. Well, now the dress is actually on display at the House of Gaga Museum, which is located at the Park MGM in Las Vegas. Talking to Vogue about the dress in 2021, Gaga actually recalled it, saying it smelled like meat. Yeah, no doubt. It was thrilling to wear. There's a corset under it, but the corset was sewn into the meat, so this actually is a garment. They didn't just drape meat over me and cross their fingers. Well, you know what? She's a rebel, a trailblazer, and she's always pushing the boundaries of fashion. And hey, it's not like she hasn't been canceled before, right? Remember when she wore that bikini made of keratin to the 2009 VMAs? Yeah, that was a thing. But Gaga's always bounced back, and she's still one of the most iconic fashionistas out there. Next up, we have the lovely Bjork. At the 2001 Oscars, she wore a swan dress that was interesting. Yeah, we'll go with that. While some people thought it was quirky and, you know, kind of charming, others were just plain confused. I mean, who wears a dress shaped like a swan? The frock, which was designed by Macedonian designer Marjan Pajowski, ruffled feathers. One critic called it one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, and the late comedian Joan Rivers concluded that Bjork, who was nominated for Best Original Song, should be put into an asylum. The ensemble inspired endless, parodies and earned a spot on nearly every list of the worst Oscar gowns ever. It was perhaps one of the strangest outfits I've ever seen on a celebrity red carpet. And to make the moment even more surreal, the Icelandic music queen then proceeded to actually lay 6 eggs, like giant ostrich eggs to be precise. And that was to the amusement of onlookers and of course cameras. For Bjork, the extravagant look, helped build a persona to match her avant-garde music. Now, the swan dress was neither the first nor the last weird outfit she rocked. In the 1990s, there has been a turtleneck with, really impossibly long sleeves, a shining green wrap paired with hiking boots and mini buns, and the traditional sandals and tabby socks she wore to U2's gig. Bjork's always been a bit of a rebel herself, and she's never been afraid to take risks. Also, remember when she attacked a reporter in 1996? Yeah, that happened as well. And even though cancel culture wasn't quite a thing back then, she was canceled, or I'll say, I guess, discarded by the public for that. So I mean, the swan was just a bonus. Let's talk about someone who's had a very complicated relationship with the red carpet, Kanye West. He's been canceled so many times. He's in the process now even. I mean, I think he's just been perma-canceled since 2010. I don't know. But do you remember that time he wore a leather kilt to the 2013 VMAs? Well, if you don't, let me remind you. But I can't give too much. Why? Because he fought super hard for all the evidence of him wearing it to be removed from the internet. So there's barely anything on it. Major sigh. Apparently at the time, after he appeared in it, he demanded that all images of him wearing the Givenchy leather kilt be deleted from a photo agency's database. Now, part of this is because he just wanted to pull a Beyonce and own all his images of himself, but nah, we are gonna go with the other narrative that he was just too embarrassed, which seems more likely. While some people thought it was a very bold fashion statement, others were just plain baffled. I mean, who wears a kilt to the VMAs? But you know what? Kanye's always been a bit of a provocateur, as we know, and he's never been afraid to start controversy. And like I mentioned, what's another cancellation to him? He collects them like infinity stones, and when he's, interrupted Taylor Swift at the VMAs, that was just one of the beginning of the end. So his wife now, she's another story. Actually, yeah, let's talk about it. Next up, we have Bianca Censori. She caused actually quite a stir at the Grammys this year when she appeared on the red carpet wearing a barely there dress. The Australian architectural designer and model arrived at the ceremony with her husband Kanye. He was actually nominated alongside Ty Dolla $ign, Rich the Kid, and Playboi Carti in the Best Rap Song category for Carnival. The last time Kanye attended the Grammys was actually in 2015, and I guess you could say he made sure to come back with a bang and a body. New dresses are nothing new on the red carpet, but Censori's provocative looks seem to go a step further than other past revealing outfits at major award events. Her barely tangible garment went viral and also raised questions on social media about indecent exposure laws. The dress allegedly was intended to mimic the cover art of Kanye's album Vultures 1. It was a deliberate attempt to recreate it, again allegedly. Now the album cover features Censori wearing, thigh-high boots and a small piece of fabric covering her behind. A lip reader actually claimed that West told Censori to make a scene before she revealed her outfit. So while she didn't actually face any legal consequences for her outfit, boy did she face social consequences. Fans quickly called to cancel her and were kind of disgusted by the whole thing. One person on X, formerly known to the world as Twitter, wrote, "All of the comments are acting like this is funny. Bianca is fully nude and there are children present. Is this not a felony? Hate to be that person, but imagine if it was a man." Another person wrote, "I really hope Bianca Censori never needs to try and find a normal job in her lifetime. Maybe she is happy, although her eyes don't show that, but I think for someone who had a lot going for her, she is letting a very unstable man really limit what the rest of her life could be." Either way, I hope she gets released from the toxic shackles Kanye has put on her. I would like to see her become her own person and see what she has to offer. I mean, maybe then the canceled sticker can get removed from her head. Until then, she stays on the list. Sometimes those risky red carpet looks can have more serious consequences. Just ask Rose McGowan. At the 1998 VMAs, she wore a see-through dress that sparked a ton of controversy, and while she's since become a leading voice in the Me and at the time, she faced a lot of backlash and criticism. I mean, who wears a see-through dress to the VMAs besides everyone who's ever worn one? Lots of people apparently. In 2020, the author, activist, and former actress told Yahoo Entertainment that she always hated the paparazzi-crazed red carpet experience. She said, "You have these big men, 100 of them, yelling at the top of their voice, trying to get you to look at them, but your body doesn't understand why it's being screamed at and aggressed on." But when McGowan attended the VMAs with her boyfriend at the time, who was Marilyn Manson, she decided to make a very bold, red carpet statement anyway. However, most people had no idea about the real serious statement she was trying to, make by showing all her skin. She said it was her first red carpet event since being SA'd, and she wanted to take her power back. McGowan said that, Manson himself was one of the many people who didn't understand her intention behind it all, but he did support her anyway. Which celebrity do you think will get canceled for their outlandish fits this year? Let me know your predictions. Thank you for watching. I'm your host Ashley, and it's been great catching up.